Hello, hello. I hope that you are doing well and taking good care of yourself. My name is Nompumelelo Prudence Gubega. I'm a clinical psychologist and also a traditional healer. I am based in Joburg South in South Africa. Welcome to Black Couch Podcast. On season 2, episode 6 of Black Couch Podcast, and the topic for today is what makes people in long-term relationships and marriages stay in them. I feel like we always speaking about why people leave certain relationships and why they should leave, and more especially when the relationship is dysfunctional and unhappy or unhealthy, But we never really celebrate people that are in long term relationships and the qualities that have made them stay in those relationships, And I think I was having a conversation with one of my patients and I was asking her, what would make you stay in this relationship? And it was very difficult for her to answer. But when I asked the question, what would make you leave? She counted a lot of things that would make her leave. And I realized that we live in a community or a society that now teaches us so much about self-worth, which is beautiful, but it doesn't teach us as well about the good qualities that would make us stay in relationships. I remember watching TikTok and there was this lady that said, we are so afraid to even speak about how happy we are in our marriages or in our long-term relationships because the society always wants people to leave marriages, more especially women. And I think I understand because we're coming from South Africa, which is sometimes a very, very unhealthy when it comes to how women are being treated and some of them being killed, for even choosing themselves or being physically abused and all of that. We know how it is in our country. But I think sometimes it's okay for us to celebrate the beauty of relationships that are actually working, that are actually healthy. And sometimes we don't even think about them because some of us feel that we are not deserving of being in them. So I was just thinking that why don't we just maybe have a Monday that is different where we actually speak about how people in long-term relationships actually end up staying in them, more especially when they are healthy, the qualities that they have and the kind of goals that they have in their relationships that make them stay. I think one of the things that came to mind for me is the most important thing, which is always the shared values. I remember having to ask the patients of asking patients, what are some of the values that would make you stay in? What are some of the values that you look for in a partner, and are you able to give those to yourself? And the reason for that is because there always needs to be shared values when it's a healthy relationship. It's not just about having the same goals, but it's really about the aligning of things like family, spirituality, and life purpose, the direction of the relationship, knowing where it is going and both of you where you want to take it. I think couples often revisit these over time as well, especially when life changes. Speaking about life changes is in healthy relationships, um, most couples would actually allow each other to evolve and also for the relationship to evolve. Understanding that your partner is also in their own life journey and the certain things that they are experiencing for the first time, as much as you are experiencing them for the first time, would result in you not putting so much pressure in trying to control or also change some of their views to make them the same as yours. Remember, it's not about having someone that's going to be coming in and molding whatever fantasy or ideas that you have, but it's about building with someone and respecting each other's visions and seeing how those visions come together so that you guys can build together. Also, understanding that it's okay for your partner to change as much as you are changing, as long as it is not unhealthy for the relationship and as long as it's not harmful to both of you. It is okay to accept change, because if ever we want our partners to stay the same, then that means we want to control them. Another important thing is people that are in long term healthy marriages or relationships have realized that it is okay for your partner to have their own life without you having to be in control of it all the time. It's okay for them to have their own life, as long as it's not harmful to the family. you know you don't have to micromanage your partner. You don't have to always know on um what are they doing. Sometimes they don't even understand it themselves, so allow them to also have that space to be able to be an individual that is in a relationship and also to be a partner as well. I guess also having to be in a long-term relationship or a marriage also allows you to let go of so much control. Your partner is not your child, but your partner is someone that is an adult that has consented to be in a relationship with you, and it's important for you to also be mindful of things that are more about you being in control because of your insecurities and ego and things that allow you to be loving. And I remember hearing one of my patients saying that reporting to your partner feels like control. And some of it depending on the context of the relationship, but also reporting to your partner in terms of, oh, I'm going to be going here and here, can also be a way of keeping them at loop on your whereabouts and safety, but also not in a controlling way. I'm going to be meeting up with a friend, that's okay, but not in a matter of now multiple phone calls and all of that. So healthy and happy relationships allow their partners to report and be trusted in that reporting, and then after that just going on with their day without feeling insecure about it. Couples who keep evolving together, whether it's through projects, parenting, or personal growth. I think I've mentioned this, that if ever you are with your partner, it is important that there is the evolving together, because you are going to be going through different stages with each other, and that also keeps the connection, in between the couples, because you evolve together and there is that shared experience that maybe the outside world wouldn't know about. And speaking about that, there's also a certain boundary that couples have when it comes to their relationship. There's certain things that friends wouldn't know about, family wouldn't know about, as long as those things are not abuse, as long as those things are not exploitation, as long as those things are not unhealthy. But there's certain things that couples are allowed to keep to themselves and also create boundaries. I remember one of my colleagues saying that that's why there's a lock when you enter your house, because there's certain things that are just meant for the house and not for everyone else. And the more access you give to other people is the more you are going to have many views, and you and your partner will end up not hearing each other. Another important thing is fighting kindly. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends, and we were saying that the fights are more because we want to understand each other's views, perspective, and also understanding that we have different experiences. And it's okay for you guys to have different views as a couple. It's okay. It's not a train smash or anything like that. But it's more about not fighting to break up, but fighting to rebuild and understand each other. even if you have different views. Another important thing is fighting kindly, fighting in a way that you are still able to go back to your partner and say, I love you, and they can actually feel it. Because if you say hurtful words and then you come back with the same mouth and you say, I love you, then it also causes that mistrust, because how can you say you love me but you are the same person that was saying these hurtful words with the same mouth? I think also understanding your partner's love language, whether it's affection, whether it's words of affirmation, whether it's gifting, those kind of things are very important, because this allows you to also keep the connection and the relationship. Just because you live with your partner, it doesn't mean that you are spending time with them. So consciously making time to spend time together, is also quality time together, is very, very important, because that's what keeps the relationship connected, and also the discussion of finances, when it comes to money. How is the relationship? Is it money that is shared by one partner or by both? Or what are the goals of the finances in the household? Those kind of things are also very important, and showing appreciation. Someone said that it's the smallest things that can change a relationship. So the smallest things as showing appreciation are also very, very important. The small gestures show love. So in those small gestures, it's very important as well to just show appreciation. People in long-term relationships forgive each other multiple times, because in the relationship, as people are evolving, they are getting to know each other. So you learn to forgive your partner multiple times, and your partner will hurt you, but it's important that there's also sincere remorse and asking for forgiveness, so that there can be a relationship that is still built. Remember, we are both experiencing the same thing. First, we're experiencing the same thing, but for the first time with each other. So it's very important. Another thing is happy and healthy relationships come with an understanding that it is not completely your partner's responsibility to make you happy. It is your responsibility as well to make yourself happy, and your partner can add to that. It's too much pressure to put on someone. There's someone that said this, that imagine me having to make someone happy who has been through their own experiences, and I've only met them as an adult, and now it's my responsibility to heal that when I'm struggling to heal my own. So it's very important for people to go for therapy, and that's what healthy relationships are about. It's about celebrating each other and realizing that no one is perfect and we are both learning each other. I always say that you can never be in a relationship or a marriage with someone that is in competition with you, but you can always be in a marriage or a relationship with someone that wants to build with you and is in partnership with you. And also, the definition of building is different for everyone. So what does building mean for both of you? I hope that you have an amazing week. I hope that you don't stay in a toxic relationship, but I hope that you stay in a healthy one. And I hope you realize your own anxieties and triggers, because when you are in relation with someone, I can guarantee you that it is going to trigger you, because how you got traumatized in some of the things is because you were in relation. But how do you grow from that? You find that there's people that would say, I used to be like this, but now I have grown to be like this. So I hope that you take the time to actually reflect on your relationship and look at the healthy stuff, but don't stay on the unhealthy stuff. And also, I can't make that decision for you, but it's very important for you to understand that you deserve to be loved in the most healthiest way. And healthy doesn't mean always perfect, but it means evolving together, and it means that we are learning each other. Love and light.